In today's video, we're going to be discussing the price of Bitcoin and the downside price action that we've seen over the past week or two, though we haven't actually seen lower lows since December started. I mean, over the past 1.5 months, nothing has really changed. There is a possibility of a pullback to retest the oversold levels for Bitcoin on the daily chart. We're going to be going over that. But I also want to talk about why I'm not too worried about this price action, because the S&P 500 is sitting near its all-time high. And whenever the S&P breaks the all-time high, it usually indicates that just months later, Bitcoin will also break its all-time high. All of this and more in today's video. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin Svenson, and today we're going to be talking about the price of Bitcoin. Definitely smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't done so. If you like this kind of content, be sure to hit the bell button. Now, going over to Bitcoin, we are sitting above 40,000. We have a lot of sideways action over the past month and a half. After the ETF approval, we have seen some downside price action. And on the weekly chart, that gave us a major rejection candle. Bitcoin is sitting near a critical level, which is about 40,200. If we get below that, that would be the first lower low since October. So while it is possible that if Bitcoin does break below 40,200, that critical zone, there is a possibility that Bitcoin could be looking to retest the oversold levels on the daily chart. This is the bearish scenario that I have mapped out right now. Previously, whenever we had a break below our support zone, and we had a flush into that trend line area, we hit the oversold zone and it gave us about 11% down the first time. The second time we broke our support and had that flush into that trend line support zone, it's about minus 15%. Take the average, about 13%. If we break that major critical zone of 40,200, that would give us roughly 13% down to retest the oversold zone on the daily with a target of 35,000. That is the bearish scenario. Though in my opinion, we would likely bounce back pretty quickly, and we would likely find a lot of demand. We have a lot of positive fundamental events. The ETFs have been approved. We also have the halving coming up. It's like a double whammy. So I think we're going to find a lot of demand, even if we do see a dip. Before every halving, those prices that you see pre-halving are generational buy opportunities. Before every halving, every dip is a dip where if you buy those levels, you never get those prices again. Those are the lowest levels you could possibly get. Pre-halving, the second halving, every dip before the halving were levels, prices you never got again. Third halving, every dip you got before the third halving, never saw those prices again. Price never comes back to test. Generational buy opportunity. So if we do see a dip before this halving, well, just like every other dip before the halving, all previous halvings, well, it could be a generational buy opportunity and you never get those prices again. And I just wanted to make that clear because I'm showing these possible bearish scenarios. Just want to make it clear that if it does happen, it could be a generational buy. So this is definitely not a sell zone. It's definitely a buy the dip zone in my opinion. Now, another thing to keep in mind is the S&P 500 being near its all-time high. This chart I have mapped out shows the interesting phenomenon that the S&P is always leading Bitcoin on the all-time high breaks. And this is a good sign because Bitcoin is still, 40% below its all-time high, and the S&P is right near its all-time high. So if we look back in time, the second halving, the S&P 500 broke its all-time high during the second halving, and about 7 months later, Bitcoin broke its all-time high right there. It was about a 7-month difference. And the third halving, the most recent halving, the S&P broke its all-time high. About 4 months later, Bitcoin broke its all-time high. 7 months, 4 months, depends on how you want to look at it. But Bitcoin is likely, I would say, less than half a year away, probably about 4 months away from its all-time high. So if the S&P breaks its all-time high, well, we can be pretty sure that Bitcoin is just months away from doing the same thing, and then we would be off into this bull market. That is at least what history shows us. There's just a few months in between these all-time high breaks. And so the S&P being near that all-time high gives me confidence. It gives me conviction that Every dip that we see, even if this does play out, not saying it has to, if it does play out, it's just a buy the dip zone. So the point is, any downside is limited. It's limited downside, and if you'd be lucky to get these prices, in my opinion, before the halving. So overall, it's definitely an area to just be building your bags, not looking to get out of the market, not looking to sell here to buy back a little lower like everyone tries to do. I would say just hold on to your bags before the halving, and if we dip, add to your bags. And so the way that I see it is if the S&P breaks its all-time high, that sets off the timer that there's only a few months until Bitcoin does the same. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, smash the like, subscribe to this channel, and be sure to join the Patreon. The link is below. Get extra content, join our community, and I'll see you guys in the next video.